Yeah, so I'm just going to do that intro again because I can just delete that weird recording. Want to get rid of that. Yeah, it's the Boomer Hour, everyone. You know it well. Yeah, attack. High latitude, man. That's Canada in a nutshell. It's really weird to see the sun like not go under the horizon and literally just do like a big U shape and then come back up for sunrise. It's crazy. But anyways, Drex, get off your phone, man.
Texting me all kinds of nonsense tonight. All right, wait, no, what is this now?
So we're doing the E3 thing. But
okay.
You're looking on your screen, you can see what I am streaming right now, which is so the first thing we're going to do is the trailer for Hades. So I'm doing the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. If there's a specific trailer you want to hit, I can fire that up. Otherwise, I was just going to hit a couple here in the Xbox one and then head on over to the Nintendo Direct and do a few of those. But especially like guys, you got to help me out here. You got to send me stuff where they say stupid shit, because then I can play that and we can react to it. But I do not have the time to watch all of these videos. I got to watch a few of them, but so this is the inaugural recording for our new Migtown Arcade channel. So with the upgrade of the equipment, all thanks to you, the fan, the subscriber, all thanks to your support and generosity, we're able to up our live game now. So we can actually, oh god damn it, my camera fell. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I bumped it and it fell over. But yeah, we're able to bring you premium quality entertainment. For the first video we're doing on this channel, which you can find on YouTube. We don't have a proper URL for it. But we're also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Migtown Arcade. We hope to do some live streaming over video games and just shoot the shit, commentate. We'll absolutely be playing Cuckold Simulator, right, Drex? The greatest video game on the planet.
The Cuck Simulator.
Oh, it's great. It does not disappoint. So, I hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to take a look at some of the trailers and some of the videos that came out of E3. We're going to chat about them. We're just going to absolutely shred the state of video game journalism today. And I use journalism in air quotes, right, Drex?
Yeah.
They're not journalists. They're hardly gamers.
No, they're just activists with who have been given a voice, nothing more.
So, we'll just hit a couple of these trailers here. I'm excited to see.
Stupid boy. I told you nobody gets out of here.
Try and stop me.
So that's the announcement that Hades, Hades.
That's already out, I thought, right? Yeah.
No. It's coming to Xbox though.
Oh, okay. So yeah, game that's already been released. It's just moving to a different platform. Yeah. All right. I was about to say.
Hades. Everyone tells me that I should play Hades. It sounds like it's a very good game.
I've heard the same thing.
It has, based on that soundtrack alone. Now, Drex, you and I appreciate good music in video games.
Becoming rare these days, but yeah, gaming music is a big part of the success of a game.
So, and that, I mean, I was into that music.
Yeah, the music was good.
Another indie game that had really good music was Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know if you remember that one. That came out.
I'm aware of it, but didn't play it.
Yeah, that one has an amazing soundtrack. Of course, then there's the soundtrack for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, right? Raiden the Ninja. That metal track is awesome. But good music can make a good game a great game.
Indeed.
So, I'm excited. I think I'll probably pick up Hades at some point. We'll do a playthrough here on this channel. And Drex, now that you've got that gaming computer, you can actually get these games and play them yourself.
Yeah, I'll have to hook up a regular controller. I don't do mouse keyboard stuff. So
Yeah,
I'll use. I know you can use. I know you can use any of these like modern controllers. I think you just gotta get an app or something.
Any Bluetooth controller can hook into your computer. The Xbox One controller will hook natively because they're both Microsoft, right? So it will just hook in natively, and it'll do proper button mapping for you. If you prefer PlayStation controllers, you can make it work too, but there is a program you got to download to kind of help with the button mapping.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, you can. You don't even need a proper Xbox controller per se. You can get like one of those Mad Cats or aftermarket game ones. But I'm told it works better if you just have a genuine Xbox One controller. But yeah, most most PC games will button map onto controllers. Like I play Grand Theft Auto on PC, but I use my PlayStation controller to play it because that's how I always grew up playing console games. Mouse and keyboard just feels so feels dirty.
I never liked it. It's something I won't even entertain. I just never like. I grew up with a Nintendo out of the box. We played Atari, but mainly Nintendo going forward, regular NES.
Yeah.
So when I say gaming, my brain always goes to the console that how we grew up, and then going to arcades where you're using an actual arcade joystick to do inputs, mainly on fighting games. So mouse and keyboard just wasn't for me because I don't play first-person shooters, or strategy games. That was never my thing. So that's pretty much how that went.
I think the next trailer we have coming up here is Halo Infinite. Now, I said before we started the show that I am a huge Halo fan myself. I know you don't like the first-person shooter, but there's something about Halo where it's not just a shooter, right? Like Resident Evil Village, even though it's first-person, it's not just a shooter, right? So,
well, I mean, you're still gonna do Resident Evil stuff, right? Collect items,
if you're a
do
fan
the
of
X, Y, and
Resident
Z.
Evil, you love Resident Evil games, right?
Yeah, I was not a fan of 7. I think that's one of the most overrated games that's ever been made.
I would agree with that.
That game was just terrible.
I don't hate 5 nearly as much as everyone else does.
Well, 6 is the real hated one. 5 was
when
detested.
I got all the game hate, right? Because those were the people who were like, "Oh, these white people come in and start killing black people."
Oh Jesus!
Shut the fuck up with that shit.
I don't even entertain that. Like, okay, the story is set. So here's what's funny. If that's true, then what do they say about when you're killing white people in East Europe in Part 4? Right? It's okay to kill white people is what they're saying, right?
Yes, that's exactly what they're saying.
Of course.
You know that.
Of course. Yeah. So if you had a black character in Resident Evil 4, right? Let's say you're playing as a black guy. You're playing as Marvin, and you're shooting white villagers, then somehow that's okay. But if a white guy is shooting, and don't forget, in Resident Evil 5, Sheva was black, right?
Yeah.
Even though they claim that they whitewashed her, Beyonce style, and made her a lighter skin tone and blah blah.
Well,
It's
they
like,
didn't want
dude,
to make her too black because that scares people. Apparently.
yeah, that's scary because they're clearly the real racists. But yeah, what can you do?
But that's like we think that the full SJW stuff and some of it we saw at E3 and stuff like Neil Cuckman, we think it's new, but it's been around a long time. When did Resident Evil 5 come out? It's like 8 years old, maybe more than that.
Okay, part 4 came out in 04, 05, right? 05. That means part 5 had to have come out around 07, 08, something like that. And then part 6 came out after that. And of course, they rebooted it. But yeah, dude, first of all, don't even listen to these people. Just like for all the developers out there who haven't gotten completely cucked. Whatever game you want to make it. Don't ever make any concessions at all. Don't ever apologize. Don't ever explain yourself why your game is what it is. Just tell them to shut up. And this is the game that it is. Whatever color the protagonist or antagonist is, that's what it is. Or gender, because they obsess about that. So just do that. That'd be my message to all these developers.
And don't pull a Neil Cuckman and do so dirty to your protagonist that we fell in love with in your first game. And do him as dirty as you did.
Well, I'm glad he did, because by Neil Cuckman doing that, he basically allowed us to know what direction Naughty Dog will go in the future. So thus, I will not support Naughty Dog.
Yeah, he showed us true colors.
Yeah. So my thing is good. So you went for a lunatic fringe audience who doesn't even buy or play games. Congratulations. You just cucked yourself is basically what you did. So going forward, when you realize why aren't Naughty Dog games making any money, and they're running out of ideas, right? They're creatively bankrupt. That's why they're talking about remaking The Last of Us, even though that game came out in 2013. Let that sink in.
Oh, Last of Us. Neil Cuckman, he got lucky with Last of Us. They didn't make that game knowing it was going to be as successful and famous as it was. And then he became the victim of his own success, in a way. Because he's like, it wasn't that I got lucky, it's because I'm a skilled director. So now I'm going to double down, and I'm going to introduce all this SJW bullshit, and people are still going to like it because I'm a good director.
Yeah, and they're like, no, you're terrible. So, yeah, everyone rebelled against it, and now it's in the bargain bin at Best Buy for $20. And that's their game of the year, right?
We got to get that game and play it, obviously, Drex. We can't have this channel. Oh, and what's the other... never mind. But yeah, we absolutely have to do a playthrough of Last of Us Part 2.
I've heard how bad it is.
Full Abby sex scene, too. We're not censoring that. I mean, you can't even censor it because it just looks like a man boob.
Yeah, it's correct. It clearly, dude, it's the whole game is a psychosexual fantasy of Neil Cuckman, who's a weirdo. And and what is your give or take on how long it takes Neil Cuckman to get exposed for some kind of illicit behavior, right?
Oh yeah, like he hits women or he...
Yeah, he's done something at Naughty Dog, and then some Me Too allegations come out. Like I think it's only a matter of time.
Do you think that any AAA game director doesn't have a casting couch? It's like, you want to be famous, don't you? Well, you better remove that top.
Yeah. Although some of these guys are so weird that they may be going for other stuff, like the guy that was using was a dildo or a butt plug on himself. I mean, these guys are weirdos, man. Yeah, they're weirdos. So, they're the actual deviants. The same people who are calling you, you the honest gamer who wants to just play good games and call it a day. They're calling you all kinds of names, denigrating you. Yeah, they always get exposed as being the real bad guys and the creeps and the deviants. So, just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, let's hit this next trailer. If you want me to stop, just say I'll stop. If you want to comment on something. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is the... Nope, I screwed up. This is not the Halo Infinite trailer, but I think this is Stranger Things. Or no, this is something else. Drex, are you getting Limbo and what is that other game called? Inside?
Yeah. I was getting that vibe
from this.
Yeah. Yeah. That same aesthetic, all that. Little Nightmares obviously makes it much more macabre, but the basic look and feel of what this game is looks similar to that kind of like puzzle platformer, light kind of feel.
Those games are what is it? What was it? God damn it! Trial by Death or something.
Yeah, more or less.
Call these games, but these are games you expect to die in a lot.
Yeah, then you figure out, oh, that's how I'm supposed to do this to get out of this situation. Yeah,
because there are some games that you can play on your first try and not die once, and beat the game. But there are if you
this is trial and error. Yeah, these are trial and error kind of games. Yeah.
There's a name for that subgenre too, and I can't remember it right now. But Die to Learn, maybe Die to Learn. Yeah, as soon as I saw this, it gave me a very inside
It's okay. I don't know if that's. I don't know if that game is that's supposed to be like they're imagining that it's or it's real and they're just kind of clipping back to them sleeping on the couch. But it looks interesting. It looks in that same vein as, like you said, Limbo and Inside. It kind of has that same vibe to it. So yeah, I mean, it looks all right.
I remember playing Limbo when it came out, because it was out on Steam for a long time, I think, and then they did a console release. It was a different game. When it came out, it was a really different game.
Yep.
I'd never seen anything. I'm sure there was a predecessor that it's kind of inspired by or based on, but Limbo for me was the first time I got exposed to that kind of that video game style, where you don't have a narrative to tell. It's just the narrative is entirely in your head. There's not. I don't think there was a single line of dialogue in that game.
No, similar to how Little Nightmares is also. In its sequel is very similar. My girl got me into
This holiday marks the 20th anniversary of Xbox and the 20th anniversary of Halo. To our millions of passionate fans, thank you.
We wouldn't be here without all of you.
Our goal has always been
Drex, smash or pass.
I'm trying to hold on. Here's my issue.
Those teeth, man.
I don't know who Bonnie Ross is. This is the studio head. Hold on. Look, I don't want to be the kind of guy that says this chick is a diversity hire. Hold on. I need to look this up. I'm not trusting this. So, Jim, have you ever heard of this woman before? Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of Bonnie Ross before, ever in your whole life?
Nope.
So she's the head of 343 Industries.
Yeah, 343 Industries, which was so when Bungie kind of went off and did Destiny, 343 Industries picked up Halo for Halo 4. So Bungie did the first 3, then Microsoft, I think, bought the IP, and then Bungie just kind of went and did its own thing, and then Microsoft gave the IP of Halo to 343 Industries. I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate. I'm not. Now, I don't typically follow the who's who of the gaming industry, like studio personnel or directors. I know a few actors that appear in games often.
All right, I'm done with her already. Let me read this from. All right, so I just looked this chick up. This is what it says on Wikipedia, straight from Wikipedia. Bonnie Ross is an American video game developer. She serves as corporate VP at Xbox Game Studios and is the head of 343 Industries, the subsidiary studio that manages the Halo video game franchise. Ross studied technical writing and computer science in college and worked at IBM before getting a job at Microsoft. She worked on a number of PC and Xbox games, becoming a general manager at Xbox Game Studios. Now, Tim, that's just the little backstory. This is where I said I'm done with her, right? You ready to hear this?
Okay.
All right, here we go, guys. In 2007, Ross helped found 343 Industries, building a studio that would work on a new Halo game after the departure of developer Bungie. I'm aware of them. 343 Industries' first game, Halo 4, released in 2012. Ross oversees the Halo franchise, including merchandise and media adaptations. She has been honored for her work in game development and her efforts to push for more diversity in video games. And we're done. That's it. That's all you have to say. If you say anything about diversity, I'm done with you. A single word.
It's
Tim,
a game
remember what I
about
said?
goddamn space marines. What diversity do you need?
What diversity? Stop.
It's
So,
space marines shooting aliens.
so now I have questions about you, the gamer. Do you remember when I said, Tim, that I have no chill and I don't believe that there should be olive branches? There shouldn't be any of this. Well, Drex, but there's this reason. No. If you single word, what did I say, Tim? If you say one word in favor of the family court, but Drex, what about you're done?
Yeah.
If you say one word of positivity toward Me Too, we're done. One word about diversity in games, inclusion, equality, and equity, we're done.
Yep.
You see how simple that is?
Yep. It's
So
very simple.
I don't own The Last of Us Part 2. Remember what did I say, Tim? The moment I heard it was woke, done. I said I boycotted Star Wars after episode 8. I said I will never give Star Wars another red cent, right? And I have not. So true to my word. No Solo, no episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, nothing, right? Nothing. So my question is, who's still doing it? Like, who's still giving these people money?
I probably gave them money because I played both Halo 4 and Halo 5. Now, hang on a second. Halo 4 was a good game, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Halo 5 Guardians was bad. Not awful, not terrible, but it was bad. Did not like it. However, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I did for the Mass Effect franchise, right? I know that 2 wasn't great. I know the second installment was not great, but I'm going to hold my judgment. I'm going to wait and see what 3 is before I know whether I'm going to continue supporting the franchise. I'm giving them one more chance. Not because of this horse face here who looks like she could fucking one-shot a carrot.
Dude, I can't take her at all. Dude, her
She
face
looks just
actually.
like Susan, doesn't she?
Hold on. I think, good God.
Pull up Susan Wojcicki from like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, this chick is 53 years old now.
Yeah,
she's wearing a lot of
done up
clown
and
paint.
makeup
Yeah,
and-
she's wearing a lot of clown paint. Dude, you know, and whoever that little simp was that was standing next to her, no, I will not go on the stage with anyone. Like I said, Tim, one word. As soon as you say diversity, include, we're done.
Okay.
We're done.
Well,
Let's go ahead.
Let's watch the last of... so Halo Infinite obviously is the third-part installation of the current trilogy of Halo games. It started with 4, and you heard in the background that Drex read from Wikipedia that Bungie departed after Halo... Halo Reach, technically, but
Yeah.
Halo 3 is the main franchise installment.
And now they need to go woke. Let's get woke.
Yeah, let's put
And to
diversity
bring
in our
players
Space
together.
Marines.
And for the first time, we're thrilled to offer our entire multiplayer experience to all players across Xbox and PC with no barriers. Halo Infinite Multiplayer will be free to play and invite more of you than ever before to become a Spartan hero. I'm excited to be here with Joseph Staten, the creative director of Halo Infinite. From helping craft the original Halo Combat Evolved to leading the fan favorite Halo 3 ODST, Joseph is a Halo visionary. It is so great to have him back with Halo.
Thank you, Bonnie. And hey, everybody. For us, and I hope many of you, Halo has always been about heroism and wonder, about fighting to keep humanity safe against impossible odds in a beautiful and mysterious sci-fi world.
Okay, hang on a second. So he's saying the right thing. I don't believe one word out of his mouth, but he is saying the right thing. Right?
This dude's a fraud.
Of course.
This guy's he's a fraud.
I don't believe a word out of his mouth. But those are the words I want to hear, right? Halo is about shooting aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that in this cool fantasy realm that they have created.
Go on.
This is just one part of the Zeta Halo ring, the largest, most wide-open environment we've ever built, and we can't wait for you to explore it. The heart of Halo is Spartan 117, the Master Chief. In the next chapter of the Chief's story, you'll face his greatest challenge yet. But you're not alone in the fight.
Oh, the main batteries are shut down. We're stuck out here. You have one bullet against an entire army. What can you do on your own?
I told you. It's enough.
So I see.
I need you to understand. There's not much time. If you knew how you were going to die, you knew how you were going to die. How would you live your life differently? How would you live your life differently?
What happened? Where is Cortana?
The rogue AI known as Cortana is gone. She's been deleted.
How? By you?
Of course not. Did you hit your head or something? Don't you remember? My instructions were to enter this installation, imitate Cortana, and lock her down for retrieval. Yours were to take her back to the Infinity for deletion. So if it wasn't you... Okay then. There's something else. On successful deployment, my deletion routine was supposed to complete. Still here.
Good.
Good.
Something stopped your deletion. We need to find out why.
But this wasn't the mission.
The missions changed. They always do.
Are you sure?
Of course, you can't have a Halo game without multiplayer.
Okay, before he gets into the multiplayer, so, I mean, it's looking more like a movie trailer, right? Drex, didn't video game trailers used to be about playing the video game?
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna be too hard on this Halo trailer because we don't know how where it is in development, and games have been doing this for a long time, right? Showing cutscenes and stuff from the game to make you, get hyped up. Like, oh, where's the story going? This looks awesome. Show off the new graphics technology. Like I said, I'm not a Halo guy, so I can't.
Yeah.
I can't say what's what, but I am. I will say this though. He's about to talk about multiplayer, and that does make sense because I guess he doesn't want to spoil the campaign. And I get, I got to be fair. The multiplayer is where a lot of people are going to spend a lot of time, but at the end of the day, you don't want to. They're doing the right thing. You just need to give them a look at the new world that we're going to without spoiling. And I'm assuming the gameplay is going to be more. He can show them the multiplayer with weapons, new abilities, things like that. So yeah, we'll see.
Now, do you want to? What do you want to bet that at some point he's going to say that we also want to focus on making the gaming space or the multiplayer space inclusive for all people?
And that's all you need to say to make me get turned off. And like I said, if I were a Halo fan, if he said that, I'd be like, and we're done. But go ahead. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to come up.
But that's like one of the biggest. One of the last lawless realms in this world is the online gaming space, where you can just spam N-words all day long. I mean, because that's what it is, right? They hate the N-word. They hate the N-word, and they wish that anyone who ever said the N-word was immediately shot from space with a giant laser.
Yeah, I mean, although they themselves are, they themselves hate black people, so I'm not too worried. Although the word itself does not originally connotate just blacks, it just meant an ignorant person. So anyone could have been called the N-word in its origin, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, another day. But anyways, let's see what he's got to say.
And on Xbox Series X, you'll be able to enjoy Infinite's multiplayer action at up to 120 frames per second. Finally, I'm very happy to announce that Halo Infinite's first free-to-play multiplayer season and Infinite's story-driven campaign will launch together this holiday.
A new day is upon us. A new generation built to fight. Together, we are unstoppable. Are you ready?
No scope. Big shot. Killing spree. Double kill.
Hello, let's do some damage. Skewer acquired.
Grapple jet.
Claim the enemy flag. Return it to base. Ordnance drop inbound. The flag is ours. Please call at your earliest convenience.
Now, show me what you can do.
Okay, that looked cool. That did look cool. That looked fun.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So it says free to play, and it's talk about day one Game Pass. So let me get this straight. How are they making money? If I thought normally a game retails about $60. So are they just saying that the multiplayer is available if you have the Game Pass because you have to go buy the campaign for $60? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
right?
That's how the way it is. So
Okay,
free
yeah.
to play doesn't mean free to own, right?
Okay.
So it's Call of Duty is really bad for this one. Activision. You get downloadable content, so DLCs, but they're paid for, and then they have this whole like season 1, season 2, season 3 pass. Fortnite does the same thing. You actually have to pay money to get these season passes. So what they're saying is that the season 1 will be it'll be included with the cost of the game. When you buy the game, you get the season 1 pass to start.
Yeah.
And then
to get you
when
hooked
season
in.
2 comes out, then they'll charge you for that.
Yeah, I get it. It's actually a good model. Yeah, it's because you want to they want to get everyone the mechanics of the game, how's the game played, get them hooked, so that when someone says, "Hey, season 2 comes on X date," you're saying, "Hey, I want to keep playing. I want new maps. Let's go." Yeah, I get it.
And
okay.
I'm sure someone will look at that trailer and say, "Well, it's the exact same thing since Combat Evolved." Good, because the multiplayer in Combat Evolved was freaking awesome. Oh, I could say fucking awesome. Why the hell am I censoring myself? It was fucking awesome. don't change what works. How many times have people tried to try to do too many new things at once?
Yeah,
And
usually tends to tank it.
And I'm glad they're bringing back the old favorites, right? You saw the grav hammer. You saw sticky grenades has been a staple since the beginning, right? It was always fun to throw your grenade across the map and stick it to someone. I'm glad that those are still there and that they add new weapons. They add I saw a couple new vehicles in there that they want to add in to make it interesting. But they still have the old vehicles too. There was still a Warthog. There's still Banshees. No, that looked. I'm impressed. I'm pleased. I'm pleasantly surprised with that trailer. Don't fall for it. I think I'll buy the game.
Look, okay. Do I think the game looks good? Yes. Do I think the multiplayer will be good? Yes, I really do. Right. I'm not a Halo guy. However,
it looked fun.
I think when it comes to the campaign and what they're gonna say leading up to the release of the game, I think they're gonna go full woke.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like is what you just said, right, Tim? Hey, and did you know in this game there's X amount of female characters to customize? You know it's coming, right? Instead of just saying, hey, here's our game, right? Just play our game.
Yeah.
The campaign's gonna be woke. Trust me, it's gonna be woke. God, I got a chest cramp from chest day. Damn.
All right, so those are the two trailers I wanted to look at really quick. Here, just let me pull this up and stop that for a second. Okay, so it's just you and me for a second while I switch videos. But those are the first couple trailers I wanted to. Whoops, accidentally hit the play button again. And the Nintendo Direct is the one. So, yeah, so what CNET is, so I'm on the CNET channel right now, and they've just kind of compiled together every trailer of Nintendo's event. So we can just watch them back to back. Drex is, looks like Breath of the Wild is up. Breath of the Wild 2 is up next, and then there's the Smash reveal, then Metroid Dread, and then Mario Party. So we could just kind of run right through this.
Yeah.
There, let me put the stream back on.
I already saw a couple of those.
Live. You might have to click on my thing to see that video feed.
No, it says it looks like it's playing on my side. I love that date.
So next year, so that's the sequel to Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah. I stand by what I said, though. I don't know if they're going for like a Majora's Mask vibe with this one. Like, back in '98, we had, regular Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And then after that, using, basically the same engine, you just had the expansion pack. You had Majora's Mask. I stand by what I said about this game. I believe if they're going to do it, to delay the game and just use the updated Switch. Like, okay, if the Switch launched in March 2017, right? And Breath of the Wild was the showcase. It's what I mean. That was like one of the best ways. Obviously, they were just porting games over from the failed Wii U, right? That's why Mario Odyssey was ready to go launch year. Zelda was ready to go launch year because these were Wii U games. They just just switch them over, right? My thing is this: if I want to get you to play the newest Zelda or the newest Metroid, the newest whatever, if I'm Nintendo, I'm going to do the same thing with the new Switch, the updated hardware, right? Delay it. Redo your game with the upgraded hardware, right? Because Tim, think about it. This looks familiar to you, does it not? Yes, the world looks different, but like the game itself looks familiar because it is familiar, right?
Yep.
Same engine, same basic look. If you want to really, really show somebody that you are going above and beyond, show them the new hardware and be like, yo, the new Switch is launching with this game, just like we launched the Switch with Breath of the Wild. Launching Breath of the like to say 2022, I mean, Tim, that can mean January 1st. It can mean December 31st, 2022, right? We haven't heard much about Breath of the Wild 2. Right? I mean, you look at how many games has it doesn't just not Nintendo, but game companies in general, they'll give you a reveal, right? A teaser. You may not hear about that game for like 3 years. You're like, well, where'd the game go? What happened?
Yep.
Is it in development hell? Yeah. I mean, you're talking about damn near a whole generation, right? So
I just realized
that's just my take on it. This game still looks great.
I just realized Metal Gear has done that. Their games come out on the new console every time, right? Metal Gear Solid, PS1. Metal Gear 2 Sons of Liberty, it was PS2. And then Snake Eater was the updated version of the PS2 hardware.
Correct.
Like, comparing Snake Eater to Sons of Liberty, graphics-wise, it's not even a contest.
Yeah, huge leap. Obviously, the frame rate issue because they have the much bigger worlds being in the nature. But like, if you go back and look at the character models, they look 10 times better in Snake Eater than Sons of Liberty.
And then obviously, so Guns of the Patriots was the PlayStation 3, and Guns of the Patriots really showed off the capabilities of the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, that was the killer app game. That was okay. So when Guns of the Patriots came out, I remember reading in the magazine back then. I believe it was Game Informer, and it was like, PS3 finally has its system seller. It's because at that time it was between that and the Xbox, and like there wasn't really much to really differentiate the two. And then Guns of Patriots comes out, and it's like, okay, this is that killer app game in terms of that shows off the hardware. It was Snake in a way we hadn't seen him before. The controls had finally been modernized. And then you got to Phantom Pain for PS4. And from a hardware standpoint, actually, Tim, let's go back. Ground Zeroes, right?
Yeah, I own both of those, the PS3 version and the PS4 version.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. To this day, I will argue that Ground Zeroes is a better game because if someone says, "Hey, Tim, what was the objective of Ground Zeroes?" It was to give you, to show off the technology, right? And to show you how is Metal Gear, how has it evolved, right? With the whole, the airdrop system and all that kind of stuff. How is this going to look, right? When you played Ground Zeroes, the way the rain looked, the way Skullface looked, the way infiltration, the bright light, it just showed off all these things, and just the way that the game was now being played was so improved. And you said, "Oh, this is going to be great." And then when you heard the news that the Phantom Pain was going to be like 200 times that size, you thought, "How is that possible?" And then of course we got the game, and it was just an empty ass world. But from a technical standpoint, the game works
good, right? Even
Absolutely.
Phantom Pain still looked good visually. The night-day cycle through the Afghan desert is it's still fun to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't make that connection until now.
Yeah.
Am I recording? That's a good question. Yes, I am. 44 minutes in. I actually had to check. I didn't know. All right. Let's. So the next one is the next trailer was for the Smash review, which I know you're going to be a fan of here.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, this scene confused the hell out of me because it was right after the Zelda trailer.
Get ready for the next battle.
That's interesting. Kazuya's savage, man. There goes Falcon, there goes Pit, and then did Ike dirty. There's that double form. Of course, Daddy Heihachi.
Kazuya Mishima wins.
Look how they do Kirby, man. You can't be doing him like that.
I thought that was cute.
Yeah. A little cute puffball. There's when it comes to that, obviously, as you guys know, I first came into my own as a gamer, where I made a name for myself was through Tekken, playing Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag. You know, those were the days of the arcades, and so much of my life is enveloped in that era, forming the Tekken crew, and we would go, and just like you see in the movies where there's, you got b-boys that would break dance against each other, you got battle rappers. Well, we were Tekken. We would go to arcades, other people's arcades, out of state even, to battle people. And this is long before this is the early days of the internet. This is the late 90s. And you had to build a name for yourself. Like you are that guy. You are the crew. You are the crew that comes from your city, and you'll take on anybody. And I ended up, of course, like I said, I went to nationals I won the regional, second in the locals, won the regional in Schaumburg, went to Milpitas, California for the nationals, and placed 18th in Tekken Tag. And Kazuya, Jin, obviously his son is Jin Kazama, and that was my main. And if you're a fan of fighting games, Tim, one of the things that you learn really quick is, mechanics, inputs, all that stuff, but you always get hype when you see a character that you love, that you enjoy, that's from your game, that crosses over, right? It'd be like Master Chief showing up in a Mario game, right? That's big news for both sides, right?
Yep.
Like, oh my God, like Mario, Mario and
showed up in
Rabbids.
Smash.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. And I will stand by what I said. I will say that when history gets written, I will say Smash Ultimate is the definitive game to properly represent the entire medium of video games. And the reason why I say that is because GTA is a sandbox game, right? Fair enough. You can take these missions, but it can only basically be played that way, right? Either you're playing the sandbox or you're playing the missions. Smash Bros, unlike a lot of these other games, Tim, because think about it like this though, Tim. Let's say you're playing GTA. Your girlfriend comes over. It's not a game that she can just pick up and play with you, right? That's just not the nature of GTA.
No.
You're playing Halo. Not the nature of the game, right?
Campaign,
Minecraft.
no, but multiplayer you can do split screen.
You can do split screen.
But also you can't just pick it up and be good at it, right?
Correct. And so she probably won't, like, no one enjoys just getting
she'll die
smoked.
a lot, and it probably won't be very fun for her.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. Whereas I talked about this with J Love briefly, because when she asked that question during our last Q&A, she was, what is Smash Bros? And we centered that how to play. It's simple to pick up, but very difficult to master, to learn, right? And the thing is with Smash Bros, because you can play up to 8 players at once, the game can be whatever you want it to be. Do you want it to be a traditional fighting game, just 1 versus 1, no items, no nothing? Yes, you can do that. Do you want to add platforms? You can do that. Do you want to have teams, right? You can do teams. You can do that. Do you want the game to be more like a party game? Well, add items. You can choose what items you want to add. Are they going to be frequently there? Are they going to be just the Pokeballs? You can make the game whatever you want it to be. And I think that with all of these various characters that come from so many different games, Minecraft Steve is in the game, Min from ARMS, they're all unique fighting game characters. Ryu, Ken, Terry, and now Kazuya. The iconic Mario characters that we all know, Zelda. You look at Tim, it basically pulls characters from like virtually every major franchise, right? Pac-Man. You got all these characters, Mega Man, these guys that have been in the gaming industry for over 30 years. You're talking, we're now in second and third generation gamers. And it brings them all together and it works. And that's the big thing. It has to work. You hear, I've heard this from Tekken guys, like shout out to Darth Lightskin. He said, yeah, Kazuya is, or like Akuma from Street Fighter is in Tekken, but the character feels broken because it doesn't quite fit Tekken. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can take anyone in Smash and they all fit. If people knew how difficult that is to really pull off, because like the character has to look right and feel right within that game, right? So Smash does that, which I feel no other game has been able to, because the nature of the actual fighting game genre I'm very familiar with. If you notice, Tim, one of the first things you notice with Smash, due to it being a party game primarily, right? That's what it was intended for. Mm-hmm. The character size is very small, right? Whereas if you go play Street Fighter right now, see how big your character is, right?
Yeah.
The characters are huge because it can only be played one way. Tekken can only be played one way. Therefore, the game has now dictated how it's to be played, 1 versus 1, right? That's it.
Yeah.
By having your character's size small, because it's a party game with larger stages, you can allow more characters on the screen at once. Brilliant. It's brilliant game design. Yes, I'm interested to see how Kazuya is going to play. He'll probably come my new main because, as you know, I like the fighting game characters. I play Terry as my main in Smash Ultimate, so I'm interested. Well done, Nintendo. We'll see who the last character is going to be. I am truly hoping, Tim. I've said this for over a year now, that they get Crash Bandicoot to represent Sony and Master Chief to represent Xbox, right? To represent Microsoft. There have been rumors that Nintendo and Microsoft are working on something, and that could be Master Chief. I sincerely hope that there is a third fighter pass. I think Sakurai has said this is going to be it. But as you know, with video game developers, Kojima is the biggest troll ever in gaming history, right? So he'll be like, "Oh, this is it."
Liberty supposed to be the first end of the game.
Yeah. He constantly trolls. Yeah. So I think the Smash community would literally go bonkers if during the last reveal, like whoever that last revealed character is, like let's just say it's Master Chief, right? And it says but wait, and he drops a handful of Smash invite cards. That's how they reveal the new characters, the little Smash invite. You're invited to Smash. And if he drops that and then says hey, coming soon, the true last of fighter pass, right? When you get someone like Lara Croft, Crash Bandicoot, Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
What happens when it's Abby?
Oh, look, if we got Abby,
I just ruined the whole franchise for you.
if Abby were a character, right? And here's what's funny. What if they made Abby completely OP and broken, right? Wouldn't that be like the ultimate troll job, right? Her golf club kills you in one hit, one smash and pop, done. You'd be like, are you serious? Like, and her super move is like her hitting Joel and you at the same time. You'd be like, okay, dude.
No, her power move is that she rips her top off and you just get like a laser out of her breasts.
Or she has a command grab where she actually rumps you the way that she got rumped in Neil Cuckman's pseudo-sexual fantasy of a video game.
Yeah.
But well done,
and
Nintendo.
then your fighter catches an STD and gets blasted off the screen. All right. Of course, Drex, this is the one we've been waiting for. We'll finish on a high note here with this video.
Yep.
So that's what Metroid games used to be, right?
Yep. 2D action, side scrolling,
Blasting
power ups,
aliens.
everything. Yep.
That first monster, like I got a very Portal vibe from it. I don't know if I'm the only one.
I did
saw
too.
that.
I did too. Yeah, just different color, right?
It's just a coincidence, or I don't know if that means anything.
It could have just been an homage, right? Right. Obviously, if you have a blue light, people go, it's Portal, so you have to have a yellow light. Why that stark white against that yellow? You know, Tim, something that we talked about earlier in the live chat when it comes to Metroid. You know, I want to say a certain F word to all these phony journalists, but I can't because, as you know, I have a strict policy of no curse words if I know that there are children or elderly people around. So I'll say screw you to all of the journalists, right? And all these other libtards and crazies out here who have said that, you know, gamers are anti-women, right? Which is nothing could be further. I don't know what you think, Tim. We talked about this. Samus Aran is one of the most iconic characters in gaming history, right?
Yeah.
And her games, the Metroid series, dude, I look back at Metroid, right? The first time I ever played Metroid, it was a neighborhood kid named Big Mike. And he said, yo, I got this game. You guys got to play this, man. It's called Metroid. And we were fascinated. When the opening, go back to the original Metroid, 1986, regular Nintendo. The title screen music, we just went, whoa. Because, you know, we had seen, I believe by this point, we might have seen the original Alien, Ridley Scott's Alien by this point. We grew up on horror and action movies. And I remember going like, oh, wow. Whoa, this is because this was not Mario Brothers, right? This was not Zelda. This was something new.
This was and we cutesy, fluffy video game.
Oh no, man! And the music when you're in Brinstar, I remember hearing the first time you go to Kraid's Lair, right? Kraid's Lair. There's a girl online. I wish I remember her name, but she plays it on the piano, right? And if you just type in Kraid's theme, Metroid or something, it'll pop up. You'll see her. She's there playing. There's all these themes. You know, we talked about music earlier, and Metroid established itself early on as one of those legacy franchises, right? And Tim, to put in perspective, what Samus 2D Metroid and Samus represents in this new direction, this very horror themed Metroid. We've heard this from multiple people, Tim, that I don't know what you've heard, but I've heard more people excited about this Metroid than there was any other game at E3. I'm talking unilateral across the board.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, yo, you guys see Metroid Dread? I'm talking, Tim, this is across, like, I didn't hear one person say, I'm just tired of playing as Samus. We need to play as a man. No.
When I said this the other night, when the reveal was finally made, nobody threw their controller. Nobody tried to return the game. No one wrote an angry email to the developers, or at least I don't think anyone did. And it wasn't a big deal. We just moved on with life, right? The reveal happened. You're like, oh, I didn't know that.
You know what's funny?
Just moved on.
The irony. Here's the great irony to Samus Aran's character. The whole time you're playing Metroid, and you're like, oh, I'm a space dude. When the big reveal happens that Samus is indeed a woman, it actually made the character more intriguing. Because remember, you expected a space guy, right?
Yeah.
You play the game like, oh, I'm a dude, right? I'm just a dude in a suit, and I'm shooting these aliens called Metroids and a bunch of other creatures. When that big reveal happens, and of course, as you know, Tim, we talk about this. When men create female characters, it's not about objectification. We want those characters to be beautiful, no different than if women are creating a male character. They don't want him to be a slob. They want him to be a beefcake, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. You want them to be pleasing to the eye. Samus Aran is that female heroine, Tim, that the fans love because her relationship with the Metroid is very maternal, right? In the later Metroid games. We love Samus Aran. We see that character, and it's just like and it brings us. I think a lot of guys, if you grew up, if you're a guy like my man Bowser out there, who is in my age bracket, right? I'm 38. He'll talk about this. It brings you back to a whole different era. This is the reason why, if you noticed, Tim, people get very emotional talking about Mega Man, right?
Yeah.
And there are people out there who ask, like, is it just nostalgia? I said, dude, it's more than just nostalgia. This represents a time that this is before woke. This is before identity politics. Everything that you know that's ruined video games, microtransactions, before any of this existed, there was this time that we lived through that was pure, right? It was pure. When I said, yo, Bowser, you coming over, man? Well, what do you got, Drex? Yo, I got this game, man. The box art is terrible, but it's called Mega Man, and something told me to pick it up. You popped in that and God forbid you popped in Mega Man 2 and heard that music, which might top 5 soundtracks in the history of video games. Mega Man 2.
Yeah.
And you hear that music.
For my time.
Well, it's so iconic. And you look at as you start naming off everything that you know about video games. All of it comes from the same era, right? This is the reason why when people say, "What is it?" And Nick mentioned this. We talked about legacy characters in video games, right? And Nick laughs, and this is well known in the video game community. Everyone always makes this remark. They go, "Oh, so you just mean Nintendo?" So Tim, there are people like, don't get me wrong, Master Chief is a huge icon, right? Crash Bandicoot is an icon. But when you play these Sony systems, you play these Microsoft systems, you play PC, you have I think his name is Gordon from Half-Life. At the end of the day, though, Tim, these are characters that you make one or two characters that are from these other machines that are remembered, right? Like one or two, right? Nintendo has so many characters, Tim, that dude, you can show Donkey Kong to someone right now. Think about it like this, Tim. If you were to walk up to someone on the street that's not a gamer, right, and show them a picture of, insert character here, right, Cortana, they don't know who the hell that is. But when it comes to Mario, everyone on Earth knows who. Do you know that Mario's more famous than Mickey Mouse? He's more recognizable.
I would not believe. I would believe it. That's not surprising.
He's iconic. He's transcended the medium itself, right? Master Chief is an icon within the gaming community. Mario has now transcended Donkey Kong, all these and that's where these guys like Samus Aran fit in within our culture, right? People get emotional. Like I said, I'm not one of those guys that get like choked up, visually. But like when I saw that trailer the first time a couple of days ago, this is. Let me tell you the impact of video games, Tim. No different than you looking at Halo Infinite. What was, you know what thought went on through your mind? I already know your thought. You went like this. Yep. And then do you know what the very next thought is? When does it come out? Right?
Well, yeah. When do I get this?
When is it out? Yep. When is it going to be in my hand playable? Right? Tim, there was a time when, we talk about Castlevania. These games are on a different level, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what era you come from. It doesn't matter what part of the world you come out. Shout out to our man Kronos. He talked about this, right? And it goes back to what we said, Tim. No one cared about identity politics. E3, listen, this for Take-Two Interactive, luckily, you guys are being saved all my very hostile vitriol because a special someone is here. So no bad words can be said. But there's so much I want to lay into people, Tim, who push this woke narrative, right? Because I'll tell you what, we talked about this, with our guys, Yosh, we got Koopa in the house. We got all these guys out here, Invader. People just wanted quality games, Tim. That's it. You just, quality product. Dude, Tim, I don't play GTA. I've made this statement before. I've talked to people who play GTA, right? Every one of them, obviously almost all of them, they all agree that Part 3 is the best one, who happened to have a black protagonist. No one cared that CJ was black. Yeah. No one cares that Samus Aran is a white blonde chick. This whole narrative is false. This whole Tim, I'm not gonna, like you said, I'm gonna put the controller down once I found out Samus was a chick. No one on earth, literally nobody. We just went, oh, I'm playing as a girl. Oh, that's cool. And do you know what happened when Super Metroid came out, Tim? I remember it. Everyone I know was so hyped. Dude, they were hyped for the Game Boy. Metroid 2, Return of Samus, right? On a crappy Game Boy where you can't even see what's what. Dudes were hyped. And by the dude, Super Metroid will be in my top 10. Any genre, anything. Top 10 best video games in the history of the medium. Super Metroid, 1994. The game starts up, you went, oh no, Tim, this is something special. You and I talked about this. When you played Resident Evil 4 for the first time, you knew you were playing something special, right?
Yep.
It's not just another game. It's not like
when you roll credits, it does that zoom out, right?
It zooms out. Yep. After you beat the doctor, right? The title card. Yep.
Yeah.
Because it starts off, it felt very Metal Gear-y, right? Very, very Metal Gear-esque, right? You were getting the call from Hunnigan on your walkie-talkie, right? And it looked like a codec screen. You're like, okay, very kind of Metal Gear inspired. Over-the-shoulder viewpoint, which revolutionized that entire genre. Let's not understate that. The over-the-shoulder viewpoint.
First game to do it, but it's certainly the first AAA game to do it. The big game.
First big game that I can remember. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys got something in the comments, let me know. I remember, and that game came out, I want to say it was late 04, early 05. I think it was early 05, Resident Evil 4 release. And it was the first major game that had that over-the-shoulder view. Now, you still should have been able to move, run, and shoot, obviously, but they planted you in the ground, which kind of added to the tension because you couldn't move while your enemies can run and move.
That game was actually scary.
Dude, it worked. Everything about Part 4 worked. Everything about Metroid worked. Everything about Castlevania. Dude, when people first played Castlevania 79, even Castlevania 64 for all of its flaws, you were like, oh, man, I'm playing Castlevania. Like, there was a time, Tim, before wokeness, games came out, man. Look, Kratos, God of War, right? Iconic character. You just played the game. That was it. It was just, and Tim, this is what it used to be, right? This is what E3 used to be. Hey, Tim, this is the E3 Expo, right? We're going to just show you a game, maybe give you a couple of insights into the game, and then that's that. You hyped it up yourself and told all your friends, showed the screenshots, showed the videos, and then you let that be that. It took on a life of its own.
And
now it's become
giveaways.
Yeah, right? Well, now what does it become, Tim? It's devolved into, let's preach to you about inclusion. Yeah. Let's preach to you about equality. Did you know there's
we didn't show any of the worst of it because I can't watch it. I can't go through it. I can't subject you people to that. I can subject Phil to a Gale video, but I cannot subject you to the worst of the woke shit that they have.
Well, do you know what? Do you know what I think is the easiest thing? I'll give a shameless shill. Watch the Quarterings review of E3 and just watch that intro, right? There's an intro where he just takes sound bites and video clips of Take-Two's talk about how he's not. Kids aren't used to seeing a guy who looks like me in video games, and they start showing all these black people in video games. Like, are you serious? Cyberpunk 2077.
Did you not
written by a black dude?
You literally were in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. Dude, someone literally showed me, and I was like, yeah, dude, no one cares, bro. No one cares. It's such an embarrassment. I'm just happy that shout out to everybody who's involved.
Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. I mean, what the hell?
Yep,
Barrett
favorite,
is
right?
The most Barrett reminds me. Barrett's stereotype is what Japanese people think black people look like. I want to believe that.
Yeah, of course it's ridiculous, right? But that's part of its charm, right?
But it wasn't offensive.
Is how ridiculous
either.
it is.
It wasn't ridiculous,
it wasn't offensive.
But it also
it's
wasn't mean.
Yeah, of course Barrett is the biggest, brutest character in the game. So what? Dude, people had fun with the game. That was all that mattered. And I'm looking at these numbers that you guys told me earlier. Nintendo had the highest number of peak viewers during E3. Tim, do you know why I think that is? Because they just showed games, right?
They just showed the games. We just watched
here's the games, man. That's it.
The trailers didn't have some intro by a horse face trying to talk up her own self-worth. They just showed the game.
That's it. Well, I think I've always said Nintendo's going to be the last one standing through all of this because so long as they don't ride the woke train, don't get me wrong, they still flirt with some certain stupid decisions every now and then. I think they said something about Brie Larson or something. I know Brie Larson dealt with Nissan, which is a Japanese company. Maybe that's how that linked up. But trust me, if you guys think for a second that Nintendo is going to go full woke, as long as they stay in Japan, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Only when you end up moving your offices to San Francisco. I sound the alarm and go, well, because if Nintendo ever goes woke, Tim, you know me, I just go backwards, right? Well, they jumped the shark, so I'll tell you what, everything that I have now, I'll just play that going back to when the times were good, right? It's kind of like Star Wars, right? I can watch Star Wars 1 through 6 right now, anytime, and just appreciate what it used to be. And be like, yep, I'm in my own little world. This is what it was. Everything that comes after this never happened, and just live in my own reality.
Drex, what would you do if Big Mike came to you and said, Other M is my favorite Metroid game?
It never happened. I don't know what Other M is.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Crazy talk.
Dude, you know, I think the word cope, I don't think that's necessarily a bad word, right? Because when something is too traumatic, like The Last of Us Part 2 being an abomination, Tim, I can play The Last of Us right now, front to back. It has Part 2. It doesn't exist. Yep. You see what I'm saying? Like I know what happens, right?
The story ended. They live happily ever after.
That's it. That's the story. In my mind, this is where the story went, and that's what. Yep. Great, perfect. So if someone comes along and goes, "But Drex, The Last of Us Part 2 took the story in this direction," I'm like, dude, this is like a twisted version of fan fiction. This is garbage.
Canon.
This is not canon.
It really is. Neil Cuckman's fan fiction of what he wanted Last of Us Part 1 to be. That literally is it.
Yeah, it's it's literally a point where it's such garbage, right? And so woke that you like in order to quote unquote cope as an audience, you just go like this. It never happened. Yep, that's good. Yeah, I'm playing part 1. Everything's good. Yep, this is and Tim, that's another prime example. Ellie is the most dynamic character in the original Last of Us. And do you remember this, Tim? When Joel gets hurt, Ellie becomes the playable character, right? No one complained. People loved playing as Ellie. People loved Ellie the character, right? And the thing is, though, they never minimized Joel. That was the big thing, right? Like Ellie doesn't help Joel heal and be like, you see that, Joel? I did it because I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Yeah. No, she just helps Joel and keeps it moving because Joel was helping her. But now these woke tards have to always they need that validation, right? Did you see that? Look, I lifted a log and I'm a woman. I lifted a log and I'm a black guy. It's like, ugh, God. It's sickening to see, man.
Terrible. The thing with the Other M, so I actually couldn't finish Other M. I did buy it.
I don't blame you.
I couldn't finish it. It destroyed everything that Samus meant to us, to Metroid fans, right? You talked about, I'm this cool space ranger guy, and the reveal was like, oh, I'm actually a chick. Well, oh well. But then they actually made her into the frail, bitchy, whiny woman.
Yes, I've never actually played other M. I didn't play the Game Boy ones just because like I was just not playing Game Boy stuff at that time because I didn't have one. But I'm fully aware of other M's existence, even though, as I said, it doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
It's an alternate. I view it as an alternate universe, honestly.
They just set the character back so far.
Yeah.
Right? Because, anytime Samus is fighting Ridley, you feel like you are taking on your nemesis and you are going to destroy him, right? But in other M, it's like he's destroying you spiritually and mentally, turning you into this blubbering mess. And of course, then you've got all the other stuff with the Admiral and whatever.
It's funny you say that, Tim. Another strong female character that is just a strong female character is Lara Croft. And in the era of the modern Tomb Raider, right, the ones that came out on PS4, I thoroughly enjoyed those games. Right, they made Laura younger and gave her a different story, a different kind of more realistic looking, right? Not the flotation device boobs and stuff like that. The game just worked because the game is what it is, right? It just is, and that just works.
Lara Croft has always just been Lara Croft.
Yep.
You said it exactly. It just is, right?
Yeah, she just is an explorer.
Go ask Bill Clinton what the definition of is.
But I miss those times. Like, dude, I remember when Tomb Raider came out. Yes, obviously Laura was sexualized. No one's going to argue that against that. But at the end of the day, you can have a character who's busted. You still have to make a good game. And Tomb Raider, those early games were still good games. They faltered a bit, but obviously they came back. They're roaring back with a modern take. If your game is good, dude, no one cares about your character's gender, color. Is this a good game?
That's
Plain
why
simple.
I always give game developers one chance. I give them one chance. You can make one mistake, right? And then come back and make a better game. Learn from it. Learn from your mistakes and come back and make a better game. That's why I said I didn't like Halo Guardians very much. Halo 5 Guardians. Learn from it. Come back and make a better game. Make Infinite
that's
better.
Fair. That's fair. I mean, I look at the same thing with Silent Hill, right? Silent Hill faltered. And I said, okay, well, these games are just bad games now. Even though, remember, Tim, I can take a bad game over a woke game. Because a bad game is just a bad game, right?
Some games are comically bad.
Yeah, I mean, if a game like Superman 64 is in the worst games of all time, it should be sitting in the desert, buried with E.T.
Yeah, right beside E.T.
Right beside E.T. It should be Superman 64, which, honestly, Tim, that game should be like preserved by Congress, right? They preserve films and stuff because something that bad needs to be experienced for generations to come, right? Like 2,000 years from now.
Everyone play it, not because it's a good game, but because you need to know. You need to know what abject failure looks like.
Yeah. Well, when someone says, "Hey Tim, it's not really possible to make a garbage game," is like true garbage, like as a 0 out of 10. When someone says, "Hey Tim, what if someone told you no game deserves a 0 because you have to at least give them a 1 because they tried, right? They put something together, right?" Yeah. You go, no. There is such thing as a 0 out of 10. And someone goes, well, show me. And you have them play E.T. and then Superman. And they go, okay, yeah, you're right. This is a 0 out of 10.
Because they
0, not 1, a 0. Because if someone said, hey, Tim, what rating would you give other M? Maybe a 3, right? 3.
There were parts of it I liked. I'd give it a 2 maybe out of 10. There were some parts, there were some mechanics that I liked about it. Like I said, I didn't finish the game, so I probably missed out on stuff. But
probably not. The rest of it sucked. Whatever you missed, it sucked. Spoiler.
Yeah. I just couldn't get over some of the early cutscenes. This is.
But Tim, you could still see that like there were still moments that made you go like this. Oh, this is a neat concept. They should have expanded. This is the level design. Something there was something that of some value, right? So even though it was a failure.
Lexibus is asking what Other M is about. It's kind of like a prequel. It goes into the deeper backstory of Samus before she became the bounty hunter.
So here's the thing, though, Tim. You can do that if you do it right. You see what I'm saying? But when you just
did it so wrong, they did it.
Is it wrong?
So wrong because the Samus in Other M is not the Samus that we played in every other Metroid game. It's not going to be the Samus that you play in Metroid Dread either.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not
you
the
can
same
you can
person.
do whatever you want with a character. Like I use the original, the rebooted Tomb Raider. We get a much younger, more vulnerable, sloppier Laura, right? But it still feels like Laura. You see what I'm saying? We're like, oh, this okay,
and they
cool.
adequately explained it too.
Yep.
Right? They gave you a plausible explanation for why she is this way.
Yep.
Oh, we actually we're rebooting. We're going back, right?
Yep.
We're still new to this. We're green.
Yeah. And she gets put in an impossible circumstance and she has to learn how to survive, right? In real time. So as the player, you're like, oh, you're going on this journey with Laura Croft. We as an audience like that, right?
Yep.
We like that kind of stuff, like the journey, right? It's what Phil talked about why Batman Begins is his favorite Batman of the Nolan trilogy, because it's a man on his journey and on his path to become self-actualized. And I respect that. And that's what Tomb Raider felt like to me. It's what a lot of games back in the past felt like, whereas they didn't preach to you. You just went on this journey with this character. And by the time, like, I remember, for those of you guys who are old enough to remember, the original Ninja Gaiden, which separated itself from all other games of its era due to the cutscenes, right? And you're on this journey with Ryu Hayabusa, and you're like, you get to the end, you're like, wow, especially with Ninja Gaiden 2, which I felt was the best one. All the upgraded mechanics, the story, the action, just everything worked. The music. And you got to the end, Tim, and you're like this, I went on a journey, man. Nowadays, they're just preaching to you. No, Tim, there's no, the journey is, you're a Mary Sue.
Could you imagine playing Gran Turismo and every time you start your car, it tells you that your emissions are contributing to climate change?
Right? Or like, hey, did you know that there's X amount of female drivers in there? And you be sitting there, like, it would get so old.
Danica Patrick jumps into your car and you're like, no, get out of here.
Dude, the wokeness has just gotten out of control, man. It's ruined everything. It's God. But yeah, I mean, for all the companies who attended E3 and decided they were going to put out an actual product and try to push the medium forward, shout out to you, congratulations to you, and keep doing what you're doing. But to anyone out there who's like Take-Two, anyone who mentions all that equality stuff, you guys, this is what I'll tell you guys out there, all you fans, you consumers, vote with your wallet, man. If you guys want woke stuff, then buy it. If you don't want it, don't buy it and then complain about they keep pushing out woke stuff.
And
just be like, all right, I'm gonna vote with my money.
Pre-order it.
Yeah. Guys, please, for the love of God, do not pre-order. Just at least do me that one solid. Do not pre-order. You're gonna get another Cyberpunk 2077. Just don't do it. No Man's Sky looking at you.
Well, anyways, here, let me get us back full size on the screen here. Well, guys, that's gonna wrap up our E3 wrap up. We were just gonna watch a couple of trailers, talk about games in general, the state of game journalism and gaming in general, and the E3 event, the state of the E3 event, because it has devolved. It evolved.
Oh
backwards.
God, has it ever? Well, Tim, how much longer do you think it's gonna go? Honestly,
I think it's gonna go for a long time. It's gonna go for the
really?
rest of our lifetimes, because the corporate money that just gets kicked into this. You'll never stop that.
Oh, hold on. Let me rephrase that. How long do you think it'll be relevant? So it'll still go. Like just like, remember, the Grammys is still on, right?
Yeah,
the Oscars still goes.
Even no one watches. Yeah, and
yeah.
You know what? You'll go and find an article about how this was the least watched or least attended E3 ever. So what? It's not going anywhere. Just like the Oscars ain't going anywhere. It's just Hollywood slapping each other on the ass, saying good job. Just like here, E3 is Silicon Valley slapping each other on the ass, saying good job. Look at all the woke check boxes that you checked.
Yep.
That's not going anywhere. I would say E3 lost its relevance a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. I truly believe E3 was still relevant. I would say even 10 years ago, it was at least relevant. I'm not saying it was as relevant as it used to be in the 90s, but if you, 2011, if someone asked you, hey Tim, at E3 2011, someone revealed this game or this console or this whatever, I still think that it was pretty big news 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, when I see
5 years ago, not so much.
When I would see on an advertisement that E3 was upcoming, now I worked in consumer electronics for a little while, so I actually had to order. I had to order games for our store. So I had to pay attention to things like E3 because I had to know which ones were the hotly anticipated games that were upcoming so I could stock them. Right? There was one year I think so the store that I was at didn't really move a whole lot of merchandise every year, but when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came up for release.
Yep.
I on a whim I ordered something like I think it was 20 times the normal stock we would order for that game or for that franchise installment, right? Because the success of Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 1,
Yep.
said that Modern Warfare 2 was going to be at least as successful, if not more successful.
Yep.
And that ended up paying off for us. Now, there's no money to be made. If you're a retailer and you're selling video games, there's no money to be made.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's buying new HD cables, controllers, all the accessories. That's where you make your money, on the accessories. Yep. Or the extended warranty, right? You protect the game disc for whatever dollars. So I actually ended up clearing house that year, but it was actually fun to run one of these, with these midnight launches, these launch day events. We'd never done that before at that location, and I actually, because of the success of the gaming division and my success over in the, especially on home computer side, so selling laptops and desktop PCs, I actually was, so I was promoted up into inventory management for that store, and I got to travel to one of these expos. Now, it's not, it was an expo in Canada, so no one's going to know what the name is. But yeah, it was a convention in Toronto that was showing off all the latest tech gadgets. And it was a great experience. They had a couple of hockey celebrities there. Apparently the company who sponsored the convention, they knew that all Canadians love hockey and you must always have hockey players. So they just invited a bunch of hockey players. It was in the middle of summer, so they're not playing hockey. They just invited a bunch of hockey players to come out and do like charity poker events, to mingle with the crowd and do Q&As. It was a really fun experience. But
I bet.
And when E3 came around, to get back to your original point, Drex, when E3 came around, I was excited. Back when game trailers was still around. You remember game trailers?
Yep.
So I'd go on and watch their coverage of E3 religiously.
Yep. Well, there are guys out there who are old enough to remember demo discs still being in the plastic when you went and got a game magazine, right? EGM, things like that. Yep. Yeah, dude. For anyone out there who remembers that was a huge deal, man.
Do you remember going to GameFAQs and looking up like cheat codes?
Yeah, or how to get. One of the things about GameFAQs that I found funny is looking back, long before the YouTube days, you would go on GameFAQs, and they were actually describing what you had to do with words, right? Hey Tim, in this room, this is the yellow room with this Phoenix statue over in the left corner. But they had to try to tell you through words. Now, when someone goes, "What changed, Drex?" You get stuck in a game today in 2021. You go on YouTube, Tim. It's a lot easier to just show somebody, right? Because you just mimic what you're seeing. Oh, that's how I get that key? Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. And just like that, done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, especially for like a kid. A kid can look at that.
Or
they don't like a kid doesn't always be able to read and understand, but they can see.
So GameFAQs also, because there was no YouTube, you couldn't actually prove that some of the things GameFAQs said was actually possible to do. So I can think of a few examples, but imagine, so there's this, secret hidden character that you can unlock, but you have to do these things, and then you do them and nothing happens, and you're like, oh, I must have did them wrong, right? One of the best examples I have of that, and I might actually just, do you remember in Sons of Liberty, do you know those little, like, fucking Easter Island idols that were always through the map?
Not really.
Allegedly, if you shot all those idols it turned Raiden into Solid Snake. Now, several GameFAQs guides went through that thing, and I again, this is a memory that you go way back to access this memory in my childhood, but I remember like, looking for all these idols, these Easter eggs, and shooting them, and like, I didn't turn into Snake. I must have missed one, or maybe I didn't shoot it correctly.
Yeah.
Oh God, Drex.
There are lots of
Not even
trolls.
in the game code. You know what? I've never actually looked that up.
Yeah, it's like the whole Lara Croft, nude raider. I remember that was a big thing. Yeah, dude. There's all kinds of stuff like that have existed. Doing some crazy input or doing something that's basically impossible, and somehow you got some reward. I didn't try those things. As a gamer, I was never a completionist. Like, I don't think I ever really played games where I said, I need to get every single. I was kind of like, look, I'm going to play the game, beat the game, and then move on to a new game. That was kind of more of my thing. If I really enjoy it, I'll go back and play it and maybe get a couple of other things. But otherwise, I don't know. I was never that guy that was like, I got to get every little item or whatever. That was never my thing.
I did that for Crash Bandicoot 1. That was probably the first game I did that for. Which was difficult for me as a kid. Some of those levels were really, really difficult.
Oh yeah, there were a lot. Just like I got the I remember getting an S rating on every level for Contra Shadow Soldier. You ended up unlocking all this stuff, but yeah, I mean I love those tough games. They're just tough, and you have to just beat it. You just have to get better and better. So,
well, anyways, that's gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up here. Guys, if you love this kind of content, you want to see more of this kind of stuff, let us know. I hope to use the Migtown Arcade channel to react to game trailers, to react to playing games, streaming games, everything game related, and even just tangentially related to the video game markets, right? So we'll be talking about, the actors and the voice actors and the actors that are in these games. But let us know. Let us know if you want to see more of this stuff, because the possibilities are endless, man. Drex and I are both big gamers. We love talking about video games. We can go on for hours and hours and hours. Those of you who are on Patreon, you know this, because I've done like unreleased clips of us doing like 45-minute tangents talking about Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Those are the good old days, Drex.
Yeah, they're sadly gone. Although one of the things about games that I think is even more so than movies, you can always reboot, right? You can just always be like, you know what, Tim, we're gonna redo. Like, I mean, look, let's face it. Kojima was gonna do Silent Hills, right?
Yeah.
That was going to be a great game. Everyone and their mom knows that game would have been great, right? PT was obviously like the dry run, the test run. He was gonna take it in a whole new direction that was gonna be great for everybody. The fallout with Konami ruined that whole thing, right? So now, of course, if you have an old PS4, you got PT, which I still haven't played, by the way. Great for you, right? But Tim, we can always reboot. Like when I say, Tim, I haven't played a Silent Hill since Silent Hill Origins on PSP. If Silent Hills would have come out when it was supposed to, I would have definitely given that a shot. Because I'm a big Kojima fan. I think he makes great games. Not always, right? I wasn't a Death Stranding never made me interested, right?
No, I never I never was interested.
It just didn't look like my cup of tea. But it's like, but here's the thing: the guy does have talent. I mean, people call him a hack. Some people say whatever. I'm like, the guy has talent. His indulgences can be a little much, but you just want to play games that you're like, oh man, this is what I want to play, man. Something that's rebooted and fresh.
Kojima's got a real sense of humor too. He's got that dry, dark sense of humor that comes out in his games, and it's refreshing. Now, the people who think Kojima's a bad game director think that Neil Cuckman is stunning and brave. So I don't know how much you value that opinion, but you know what? I'm done dunking on Neil Dunkman for one night. We can let God, that horse-faced woman for 343 though. I can't get over that.
Dude.
I wanted to put a carrot through my screen.
You know what? Here's the thing. Anyone working under her and dealing with her nonsense, you guys deserve it. Yeah. So, Tim, someone put her in that position. Someone did.
Oh, I'm sure she assumed the position to get that position.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Congratulations. That's
Heels
what
up
you
Harris.
created.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, another horse face.
Yeah.
That's a white version of Kamala Harris. Congratulations.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on the inaugural video of our Migtown Arcade channel. We'll see you next time. Stay frosty.
Peace out.